Ladies and gentlemen,
I want to know, can you find your mind?
Welcome to Love Your Brain.
Yes. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Eric, and this is...
I'm Jeremy Void.
And this is Love Your Brain podcast. Currently, we are the brain trust of two. The brain trust of two. There is four of us typically, and two people couldn't make it tonight. So Jeremy and I said, hey, okay, let's go do a podcast.
Well, I was a mile away when he called me. So I'm like, I'm already here. I'm coming from Nashville.
You're like, dude, I'm already here, man. Just hit your ass here. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to a different dynamic because this podcast started, over a year and a half ago by Dave and I. And the first season was it was just Dave and I as Love Your Brain, and we had multiple guests. And just to update anyone that's listening or watching, this is season 2. I believe it's season 2. Episode 2. In this season, we have changed it up a bit. And Dave and I have asked Jeremy and another awesome human being named Shannon to participate in the podcast as other co-hosts. So that is the Brain Trust. Dave, Eric, Jeremy, and Shannon. And so here we are tonight, and the first thing I want to ask you, man, is how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had to stack wood all afternoon. We got this big wood delivery, and I was just stacking it, and it was really annoying, and my back started hurting. I just got to get it out. It's like a half a quart, which is a lot more than you would think it is.
Yeah.
And it was, I had to stack it by Sunday before the snowstorm, so I got a few days.
Cool, man. Yeah, stacking wood was a thing that I always did with my grandfather. I'd always go up to my grandparents' place, and we would throw the wood down into the basement and then stack it all down there. And there's nothing like the heat that comes from like a wood stove, like that heat, that smell, it's the most comfortable heat there is. That's the stuff where I sit down and I just instantly take a nap because I'm so relaxed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I'll do a little check-in. I am doing okay. Life is pretty challenging nowadays, if I'm being honest, which is what I typically do here. No need to hold back. I'd say that, and I was talking to one of the producers before we came in here, I have to force myself into really looking at my life in a way that I almost have to dissect it to see the beauty. Because sometimes, at least for me, when it's just like one thing after the other, it's hard to maintain a positive attitude. It's hard to shift my perception to seeing, the good things in life, but yet I still do. Like, I'm able to. It's pretty easy. I have a daughter. You have kids, right?
I have a stepson.
You have a stepson?
Yeah.
What helps you stay in line with your maintaining a positive outlook?
Regarding my stepson, we don't see him. My wife's ex-husband won custody over him, which was really awful, and has us paying child support. He paid us $40 a month for about 5 years. Now we're paying him like $800 a month, and he's a therapist, and we're just poets. So it's not really a fair balance. What keeps me grateful is, I don't know, I like looking at my wife. She helps me remain positive sometimes.
Sometimes.
I like my dogs. My dogs help. I have 2 little dogs, a Maltipoo and a Shih Tzu. They're fun. The Shih Tzu is a puppy, so he's really wild. And I don't know. I hate this weather. I'm so sick of the fucking winter. It's the worst. it's like snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. But I get to be here tonight. I had a lot of time to work on my writing. There are good things. I have good friends and good community in the area, and it just helps me stay positive. Just to remember that not everything's shit all the time. Sometimes it's just absurd.
No, you already beat me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good segue into the topic that we want to discuss tonight, which is the absurdity of life, or life is absurd. Because like you were saying, it's sometimes I look at, my life, what's happening in the world, what's happening in society, what's happening in politics, and it's also damn absurd to me that it's hard to even try to understand what the hell we're doing as human beings on this planet, right?
No, I've been thinking a lot about that. I've just been thinking about, we were talking about death last week, and we were thinking about death with the podcast for a while, but I'm very much, sometimes I believe there is no point to life, and I heard someone once say that the point of life is to give life meaning, and I like that. But when it comes to things being absurd, I feel like everything is possible, but also nothing matters. And
everything is possible,
but nothing matters.
but nothing matters. Okay, I can be in alignment with that, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to repeat what you said because I have to chew on that for a second. Yeah, I have come to the conclusion, with a little bit of help from different modalities of spiritual teaching, self-help groups, weekend retreats that I've been to, I've come to the conclusion that life is meaningless. Which, when you first hear that, it's like, oh no! Like, a lot of people that have that like optimistic spiritual mindset, when they hear that life is meaningless, it hurts. They have a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
Almost like people that are overly political on either side, when they hear certain trigger phrases or certain things, I can't handle that, because they've been conditioned to respond that way. Yeah. Just like we've been conditioned to respond to certain things like life is meaningless.
Yeah. Well, when you add a meaning to life, it creates this this feeling of purpose and intent. You feel like you matter, and life matters, and there's some importance to that, where you can feel like a king of your own world. And when you hear that life is meaningless, it's like, but where do I stand in a meaningless reality? When I look at it, like, we don't have to have meaning to enjoy life. We don't have to. There is meaning in the enjoyment of life, but we don't have to. We don't have to we don't have to be anything. We just have to be. We have to exist. We don't have to be ourselves. We just have to exist in this world, and the meaninglessness of it is. Life is meaningless. I can do anything I want.
So there you go. I like what you followed up with.
Yeah.
Life is meaningless. And also, when you're talking, I'm thinking about Alan Watts. Alan Watts used to talk a lot about this idea that, like, the point of life is to have a human experience, not to do anything other than to be here and be human. Like, how much meaning does any other species of animal on the planet give to what they're doing? I don't think they're really giving meaning to anything. They're just existing as they are intended to exist. And yet humans show up on scene, and we got, we at some point in human history, we ate some psychedelic mushrooms and started to, grow our brains and enlarge our consciousness into this realm of, having self-awareness that, I exist, therefore I am, right? What's that one-liner?
I exist, therefore I am.
Yeah, I said it right. It didn't sound right when I said it. You ever listen to yourself talk, you're like, wait, is that how it goes? It's like, yep, that's how it goes. Anyways, back to the life is meaningless. To me, that's freedom. You know, for someone who gets that visceral reaction, it's like, no, it's because I think they're having the meaning that they've given life. Yeah. They feel like that statement's attacking it. It's like, you're attacking all my meaning. It's like, no, that's your choice of how you give your life meaning. But the blanket statement for all of anything or anyone or humanity is that life is meaningless. Yeah. And so for me, it's freedom, because then I get to choose what I give meaning to. Just because life is meaningless doesn't mean I'm not going to give life meaning.
Exactly.
I'm a goddamn human being. That's impossible to do, right? Yeah. So,
isn't it weird that we're the only species that needs to have meaning to exist? That we need to associate life with this greater reason. Like other animals, they just exist. So there's this poem that was like a bird. I don't remember it, but it's like a bird. A bird falls to its death and doesn't think anything of it. They don't. But it's natural. It's natural to preserve life. But it's also they don't run from dying. They're not afraid to die. And humans are the only species, I think, that well, actually, I don't really know what other animals are thinking, so I withdraw that statement.
Another way to put it is, human beings are the only species that has existential crisis. I don't think a fucking squirrel is up in a tree and looking out in the horizon going, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this nut about? What am I doing? That just doesn't happen. I think we are. And, you know, that could be argued, I'm sure. There's a listener or someone out there, no, something about apes, or maybe, I don't know. Dude, actually, you know what's funny? You seen those videos of the dogs that have the little, like, push pads where they can talk to their owner? Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, we got those for our dog, and they did not work out. She did not use it right. She did, like, you record our voice in this button, and when she hits a button, it would say walk or hungry. She just kept hitting them all rapidly, and like she wanted everything at once, but she didn't know what she was hitting. She thought she was playing. So we had one that was play, and we thought she'd hit that over and over again because all she wanted to do was play. But her playing was hitting every button.
All right, yeah, she missed the point. That's okay. Yeah. But I wish we were like the Joe Rogan show, and I could just be like, hey, so and so, can you pull up the clip? Because the clip that I'm referring to is what are those larger dogs that look like poodles? It's a poodle, right?
A poodle, yeah.
Yeah, like the actual poodle, because I used to think poodles were like little tiny dogs, but actually the real poodle is like a big dog. Anyways, it's very well versed in pressing buttons and like, where's daddy and when are we going outside and all this shit. And then over like a certain amount of time that this dog was using this form of communication, it started to ask, like, why am I not a human being? And the owners are like, oh shit, what do we do? So that actually,
this is a real thing. This
is a real thing. I'll find it and send it to you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the buttons where they hit it and there's like a one word, so you know what the dog wants.
No, yeah, this dog had like a choice of 20 different buttons, 20 different words. It could like put together sentences thoughts. And like, you know, there's the African gray parrot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that
they can
talk too. So I guess all I'm saying is that's funny as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm questioning whether or not we're the only species that has existential crisis. Yeah. But also what it brings up for me is that the power of language, the power of word, you know. Yeah. There was nothing and then there was the word. And maybe it's when you start to use language that something happens consciously where you start to have existential crisis. Listen, we need to get like a philosopher on here or something, and then I'm not that guy.
Well, I was thinking the other day about how awful life would be without existential crisis. I was thinking about being a dog and not realizing how fucked up life is and how much not unmysterious of a mystery it is to everyone. And it's like the dog just does what it does and doesn't think about it. Well, we don't know. We really don't know what the dog's thinking. But the idea is that just being a mindless drone and doing everything a certain way all the time and not questioning it would make life very dull. So I think I'm proud.
Would it make it dull or would it make it peaceful and blissful?
Well,
like going back to the old cliche, like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm going to tell you that for me,
Make it easier, but I don't think it'd be as interesting.
I don't know.
They
I
wouldn't have
seek
podcasts
joy.
like this.
I seek joy.
If there were no existential crises, there'd be no podcasts like this.
Oh God, no, that would be impossible.
Yeah.
And I would
No
say that
podcasts
the
at
people
all.
on this podcast, especially, and I'm getting to know you and Shannon,
Yeah.
but especially Dave and I,
Yeah.
existential crisis is a big part of our
Yeah.
story. But I just lost my train of thought. What was I just about to say? I'm pulling a Dave right now. Usually Dave's like, what was I saying? And I was
Yeah.
paying attention. I'm like, we're right here. Existential crisis. And what were we saying? Joy. Yeah, I'm back. We got it.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It only took a
welcome.
little while, a little awkwardness. I was having a conversation actually with my good friend Dan and business partner, and this morning, and we were talking about the power of self-awareness. And how it's to be self-aware is the first step to like really creating change in your life, right? You can't create change unless you're aware that there's something that needs to be changed.
Yeah, you confront.
And yet it's the first step to change, and most people hang there forever. And just because you're self-aware, unless you're like taking preparation to change,
motivation,
unless you're in action mode, I'm referring to the 5 stages of change, which we actually brought up in one of the series on addiction that Dave and I did. But like, unless you're doing something about that thing you're aware of, you're just aware of it.
Well, admitting you have a problem is the first step, but there's
Right.
a lot of other steps after that in order to change.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, that has a lot to do with my existential crisis, is the knowing that like, holy shit, I'm so aware that I react in these situations. I'm very aware that I show up this way. I'm also aware of some of like the insane loops that I'm a part of.
One of my,
But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I would like, I don't know if I've ever brought this up on the podcast, but you've seen the movie The Matrix?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
You know the character who like is on the ship when Neo gets on the ship, and he's bald guy, he's got like a mustache, maybe like a goatee. He does a little side deal with Mr. Smith, and he says to Mr. Smith on the side, he's like, dude, I want back in the Matrix, man. Give me the red pill. I don't want to remember any of this shit. I just want to go back into the Matrix, give me a steak dinner, make me famous, boom. Like,
There's peace to not know.
I relate to that guy. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about, I always say, there's one line I always use, I think it's on my website, it says, it's introspection is a sure way to drive a crazy person insane. And I'm very self-aware to a fault, and I don't always know what to do about it, and I keep making the same mistakes, and I keep telling myself I'm better than that because of my self-awareness, but yet I keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I see a therapist, but it's hard because I'm very self-aware, so like everything he's telling me, I already know, but it just reestablishes what I already know, and introspection is a curse, but it also could... it's also be dull. I just don't think there'd be poets or artists without introspection and without existential crisis and existential matters. There'd be no self-expression. Why would we need to express ourselves when everything's all peaches and cream all the time?
Yeah, man. I think that's the beauty of what it means to be human, is that like everything we experience, all the feelings, all the emotions, it's all a gift. Like pain is definitely a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
But back to what you were also saying about, the self-introspection, and like, I also see a therapist. Imagine that shit, right? Imagine me seeing a therapist. The same thing happens where we'll be talking and I'm able to really like use powerful words around what it is that I'm doing that isn't serving me. And because I have the self-awareness of it, but it ain't changing, what do? I kick the shit out of myself. I go into deep, like, sometimes self-hatred, but just like an excessive amount of like self-judgment, and it's not cool. So, and I do know how to change, and yet the absurdity of life is that I'm a part of the 40-hour-a-week fucking grind.
Yeah.
Where for me to create real change beyond the self-awareness, I need some fucking time, bro. And yet I wake up and it's like, drink my coffee, get to work, boom, 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 have to be here, have to be there. And that's also an excuse.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I know it's an excuse. Because someone out there is like, you're making an excuse. And I am. And I am. And that's the other thing that sucks about this is the amount of bullshit that I can sell myself and buy it at wholesale.
Well, like kind of like we were talking about the conditioning, like to be conditioned to think and feel a certain way. We condition ourselves to be a certain way. We're programmed by our own experiences, kind of program us into being a certain way and doing certain things based on like you hit one button, we react a certain way. Every single time you hit that button, I'm going to react a certain way. It's knowing, it's like identifying those buttons are what makes it easier to not react, but you're still going to always react that way when they hit the button. It's like you got a video camera, you hit the play button, it's going to play. You hit the fast forward, it's going to fast forward. And we're humans are like that too. We are robots in the sense that we have buttons and we react the same way every time those buttons are pushed. That doesn't mean we can't. There isn't room for progress, but we just gotta do it less.
React differently.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's, the same thing will always come up, but then I give it power.
Yeah.
So if the frustration, the irritation, or the anger comes up and I give it power, well, now I'm making it more likely for me to just go right into that. Yeah. And that's why one of the greatest lines I ever heard, you might recognize this from a place. It's pause when agitated or doubtful.
Yeah, I heard
like
that.
Just in that little tiny pause, that one little moment of self-reflection in your reaction. When I do that sometimes, I'm able to find another way, find another course instead of going down the trajectory of that reactive response.
Well, you play drums, right?
I do.
So imagine like when you're sitting behind a drum set, you know where every drum is and you can hit it. Like when you want to hit a drum, you hit it right away. But when you start thinking about it, do you start having trouble remembering which drum it is? I'm a writer and I know the keyboard really well. I can hit every button, but when I'm not in front of the keyboard, I can't remember where the buttons are.
Oh yeah,
in front of the keyboard, I know where every single button is. I always hit the right button when I want to hit it. Except I got big fingers, so sometimes I hit the wrong button.
It's a form. I think it's like a form of state-dependent learning, where based on the context is how you are able to associate and or conjure up what's in your mind.
Yeah.
But without, it's like people are like, oh, what's that person's phone number? I don't know. Give me a phone. And then they're able to say the number. Yeah, that's the human brain and all the weirdness.
It's motor memory. So when we react without pausing, we go to motor memory. We go to the first thing that we know how to do. But if you give it a second, your wisdom and your common sense, or whatever it's called, the wise mind.
The wise mind. I just saw the circles.
Yeah. So you pause for a second and you don't listen to your motor reflexes, and you can start thinking about, wait, maybe this isn't the button I want to hit right now. I want to hit some other button.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that.
Oh, okay.
I've been a little reactive lately. Oh, shit. Yeah. So really, there's so many things that we could talk about with the concept of absurdity. I was thinking while I was driving today about some of the absurd things that we do as human beings, and obviously I'm thinking about the existential stuff, but I'm also thinking about like the funny dumb shit, like skiing. Like we spend millions and millions of dollars on this equipment to pull us up and I know you don't like winter, so maybe it'll land for you better. It's like millions of dollars worth of equipment to pull us up a mountain so that we can
go back down. So if people watch sports, they watch a guy throw a ball through a hole over and over and over again. Just that's all they do is back and forth, throw the ball in the hole, back and forth, throw the ball in the hole, and they love it. It's like how ridiculous, how simple-minded and ridiculous.
Hey, bro, think about a dog playing catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Or fetch.
Yeah.
Right?
I've thought about that. Yeah, it's the same
We're
concept.
not that
Sports
far
are just
off.
plain fetch.
We might be a little too thoughtful for our own good when it comes to all that self-awareness shit, but we're still a mammal.
Yeah.
We're still mammals.
Yeah.
And we do dumb shit. But But yeah, what else do you what comes up for you when you think about absurdity that humans do more in like behavior than this other type of talk that we've had around meaning and existential stuff?
I think well, I hate when people ride my ass when I'm driving. Like they get right up against my bumper. But I notice sometimes they'll like slow down, so I get a little ahead. Then they'll speed up like they're gonna ram me, and they slow down and go a little back, and they speed up like they're gonna ram me. It's like, why do that? And I was just thinking, like, do they think they're gonna like jump over my car or something, or they're gonna get me to go faster? I'm a nervous driver, so I drive how I feel comfortable. But I'm not gonna go faster. They keep trying to ram my car and then backing.
You're gonna make matters worse.
Yeah, exactly.
The tailgaters to me are just people that are so in a rush to get nowhere that it's their natural mode of driving. That's very dangerous, and I'll give them a couple like little breaks, red light a couple times, like come on, buddy,
that's a good idea.
Back the fuck off. I think that's just the overall impatience of most drivers, which I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not an impatient driver.
Yeah, I can get impatient sometimes, but it's like sometimes people will make an error on the road, and then they will make everyone else's life miserable just to break some stupid rule to correct themselves, like to do a U-turn into moving traffic because they don't want to go all the way around and do it normally or do it the right way.
Bro, you want to talk about some driving pet peeves? I guess that applies to the absurdity of humanity. Well, I got two humongous pet peeves that I've actually talked about and almost like made a video about, like a public announcement, like, come on, people. Number one, and this is common. I think most people would agree, at least people that know how to drive well. Yeah. Which is when you're on the highway and you got someone in the passing lane going fucking 20 miles under the speed limit. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Move over, and I'll be there, and I don't want to pass you because I want to follow the rules. So I'm just going to sit there, and then I'll do what my friend Jeremy doesn't like, is I'll get on your ass a little bit because you're supposed to move over because that's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, like the fast lane, yeah.
That drives me crazy, and I'm being absurd about it because all I really need to do is be safe and go around them, but because that's the rule that I like, that in my mind is how you're supposed to drive, you're pissing me off.
In Vermont, there's this highway that it splits, so you have to go in the right lane, left lane, whichever way you're splitting. This driver was in the left lane going the same way I was going. She was going like 20 miles per hour, 23 to 20 miles per hour in the highway. And we were behind her, and my wife said that when we finally passed her, she looked like she was like horrified of driving. She did not want it. It was some old lady, and my wife saw that, looked out the window, and she was just like,
dude, I'm telling you right now, there's some people, this is a little controversial. No, I don't care. There are people out on the road that should not have a license. Yeah, and a lot of them are elderly people. Yeah. And now, please don't think I'm trying to offend your grandparents, but or a grandparent. But honestly, I've been to the DMV, talk about absurd. I've been to the DMV before where there was a woman, she must have been in her mid-80s, maybe even close to 90. Yeah. And she had a handler to get her up to the desk to do the eye test. I'm like, if you need a handler at the DMV to get your license, you probably shouldn't have a license. And I don't know. I think that they should do some type of. I think they should have like a law where once you get a certain age, you should be tested. Like every couple of years or assessed.
I'm have to agree. They do the eye test regularly, but at a certain age they should be more cautious about who gets on the road. And there's things I don't do that I can't do. I'm incapable of doing because I have learning disabilities, I have mental disabilities. There are things I just can't do, which would be nice if I could do them like everybody else, but I just can't do them. And that's just the reality. And it's not anything wrong with me. It just means I literally can't do these things. Like I can't drink, I can't do drugs because I get really messy when it comes to those things. Yeah. And I know that. Just like when an old person's driving, in a situation that makes it more difficult for them to see or be aware or just be in this headspace to drive. And it's just the way it is. I don't play basketball. I mean, I don't like basketball anyway. I wouldn't want to play either way. I mean, I guess I am tall. I was going to say I don't play basketball because I'm not tall enough, but I guess that's relative.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Honestly, I'm not. I don't watch sports.
I don't watch sports
a lot of people look at me like, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what do you think of the Red Sox?" And I don't know, man. I don't really have an opinion. Like I played sports my entire life.
Yeah.
I was a pretty decent soccer player. I played hockey up until I was 16, and then when I went to college, I played rugby. So I've always loved playing sports.
But watching, what's the point?
Don't talk about absurdity. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. I just don't understand the obsession of people with sports and following a team. I respect it. I mean, I have to because it's around me constantly, but I really don't understand what it means to be like a diehard sports fan.
I think it's like white collar voyeurism and blue collar gang warfare.
What, dude?
White collar voyeurism and blue collar gang warfare.
Okay. Well, I mean, you seen some of the soccer games in other countries, man?
They fight.
People get
the
fucking
football
stabbed,
hooligans.
dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like it's tribalism.
Yeah,
it's just tribalism.
It's
My team is better than your team.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, we're going off on all these tangents, but honestly, what we're actually talking about has a lot to do with the topic.
Yeah.
But I don't want to forget about the second pet peeve thing that I have with driving.
What's that?
Okay. So number one was, going very slow in the passing lane.
Yeah.
People stop doing that. Just pay attention. If people are passing you in the traveling lane, you need to get over there.
Yeah.
So anyways, the other one, and what it really comes down to is dumb kindness. It's dumb kindness. Okay? It's when you're at a stop and you're trying to go out into traffic on the other side. So cars are coming this way and you're trying to get out on traffic. And then that person stops and waves you on while cars are about to pass them on the right-hand side. I'm like, no, you're being unsafe. And then they get all angry because their kindness was not received. And it's like, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're trying to be a nice person, but you're being a really fucking stupid person.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time. And I've talked to a couple different police officers. That's how a lot of accidents happen.
Yeah.
So I guess finally, after all these years, Jeremy, I can make a PSA right here on GTV 40. Please stop doing that. Stop waving people into traffic while other cars are coming on the right-hand side of the car. Okay, that's
well, you didn't know when the car's got to turn and like the turn lane is like 2 lanes over and they're already at the red light. They just cross over the 2 lanes, or they wait till an opening, and then everyone's like, the green light's going forward, everyone's behind them waiting to go, and they're just waiting to get into the left lane, and they're waiting for the green light to go, the left turn light to be on.
Yeah,
that's annoying too.
Yeah. Anyone relate to road rage? Yeah. Not me.
Sometimes I just want to, when I see people driving like, I don't know, someone's in too much of a rush, I like to slow down so they can like, when they're riding my ass, they sometimes slow down, and then sometimes I want to like ram them when they're like blowing past me like 100 miles per hour or something, and they're just in a rush and they're endangering everyone's lives. I just want to ram them, which is ironic because I'm endangering our lives.
You're endangering everyone's life, and I want to hit you now. Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually do that. It's just a thought. It's just a thought that I think about. Because I destroy my car, and then how would I get around?
Well, it's like, I'm thinking about different political rallies. I won't say what side, but how there's a lot of political people that claim to want peace and claim to want civility, and yet they act out in a violent way. It's like you're a walking contradiction. I mean, that's just the paradox of being a human being. And I am a walking paradox, and I contradict myself often, but not typically when it comes to violence or harm causing.
Well, I think Gandhi said something on the I don't know exactly the words, but he said something about how you got to defend your life. It's okay to be violent to defend yourself, but if you're physically assaulting someone who has no business being assaulted, that's not right. But if someone's attacking you, it's okay to use self-defense and you don't just let them beat the shit out of you.
Right.
And I think that's the difference between pacifism versus stupidity.
Pacifism versus stupidity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that we could talk about. Another thing when it comes to things that I find absurd about life, about humanity, is our over-reliance on certain things and our not paying attention to things that actually make more sense. Like, for instance, one of the most simple things is like hemp, right?
Yeah.
So hemp was around. I mean, it's still around.
Yeah.
But you know, Benjamin Franklin and George Washington, like, they spoke so highly of hemp. You can make paper out of it.
When I was a kid, I made those macrame necklaces out of hemp.
What's that?
Do you know those macrame necklaces?
Oh, yeah,
I used
yeah.
to make those when I was a kid, and I'd sell them to friends and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, hemp as a substance to make other products that are sustainable, and the efficiency of hemp crops versus trees. So like, we still, you know, make a lot of paper products out of wood, and how long does it take for, I don't know, I don't know what the name of that person is, a horticulture, I don't even know it. I'm making shit up right now.
Agriculturist?
Nah, it doesn't matter. The point is that you can make all these products with hemp that is safe, that's efficient, and these crops grow back very quickly, and yet we still are connected to this old paradigm where we're cutting down forests, we're killing trees to make paper and all these things that we could with hemp. Why? I don't know. I mean, I think what it comes down to, it's absurd, but all you got to do is follow the money.
Yeah.
All you got to do is look at, you know, old systems are hard to break.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of old systems in humanity that I think we need to break.
I agree.
Anything come up for you when I give that example?
Well, I heard this, I saw these protesters on the bridge, and I'm not going to say what side political I am on either, but you probably assume, knowing me, anyone can assume that anything they want. But I saw this protest, and one guy said had a sign that said, "America is dying," and I'm like, good. Just not good. America should die because it allows for us to build something new, and because the system is obsolete, and people are so attached to old values of a bunch of old white men in like the 1920s or earlier, not like the 1800s. I don't know what's in the 1920s, but yeah, they're attached to these old systems, these old values that don't even work anymore, and they don't want to let go of them. So this whole democracy, I mean, yeah, there's some value to letting people decide, but do we really have any choice? I mean, the popular vote lost twice in like the last 15 years, and the electoral vote won in those two times. It's like, that just tells you that we really don't have a say. The whole thing's rigged from the get-go. So fighting for America to thrive as a country is like fighting for, you might as well, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you might, like, fighting for America to strive as a country is like, it's just fighting for old values. We might as well be fighting for racism, because that's what America was founded on. And now we're like, I'm totally like gonna make myself look really bad here, but America was founded on racism. That's not a good thing. Racism is a terrible thing. But fighting for old values is fighting for the values that were created when all that stuff was going on. We need something new. I don't have any answers. I just think this country needs to explode, and not in a bad way, in a very good way. Something new needs to happen. And I'm not advocating war. I'm advocating change. And I don't know. And I'm not like activist. So I'm kind of a hypocrite by saying this. I don't do anything to promote change except for changing my own life. I mean, one of my favorite poets said, if you want a revolution, learn to change your own internal chemistry. And do it quietly if you can.
Love it, dude. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Yeah, so you bring up politics, and it's interesting, man, because that's something that we've never gotten into on this podcast before. And I'm not really sure why. I think it's okay. So I'm happy to make a statement about where I lie politically, which is I'm basically just disgusted. I'm a liberal, Republican, conservative Democrat. That's the absurdity of politics to me, is the intentional push to make people choose a side, because all politics does is divide people.
Yeah.
And all politics does is put people into what we referred to earlier as that tribalism kind of mindset, where my side's better than yours. No, mine, you guys are wrong and we're right. It's like, okay, so there's maybe 3 or 4 major things, right? Which everyone probably knows, abortion being one of them and a few others. What about all the things that we have in common, especially the average American who's a hardworking, in that absurd grind, 40-hour a week? Like, what about all the things that you have in common, instead of just being completely put into this position of self-righteousness on either side, where you condemn someone because maybe they differ in an opinion with you on a couple different things? To me, that is the most absurd thing about the state of politics in this country, is how polarized it is, and how intentional that was done to make us polarized, because
It's easier to control.
how did Rome, Rome divide and conquer? And so even our own government, and I will say this, like, I don't trust my government. I don't fucking trust any government. Are you kidding me? Pay attention to history. Like, it's all out there. But like, the way that our country divides and conquers their own people is by selling us the political game.
Yeah.
And so I was actually talking to one of the producers. I'm not going to say who. They got to remain neutral here at GTV 40. But we were also talking about this, and how, I just lost my train of thought because I thought I was being funny for a second, and I just totally lost it. But I was discussing with this person about, if you're overly political, you've already been duped. Like, you fell for one of the biggest tricks in the book, which is to buy into this game. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have opinions on important topics, or you shouldn't be an activist. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have become overly political, my opinion is that you've been duped by one of the most intentional ways to divide and conquer people. And I'll end with saying this. To me, the left and the right are 2 wings of the same bullshit bird. It's never flown.
I actually have a poem that goes, left wing, right wing, really I need both wings to fly.
That's it. I mean, it's true, but to me, I think it's absurd that people think that they have power with their vote. I mean, it's been proven that, and don't get me wrong, I still adhere to the idea that if you're going to bitch and moan, you gotta get your bitch and moan card, which is to vote. And I have voted in just about every election. Maybe I missed one when I was in college or something like that. I don't know. Since I was 18. But all I'm trying to say is that, the left and the right, it's theatrics, man. To me, it's the WWF, dude. It's like behind the scenes, there's side deals going on that are really being created and using media as a way to feed us with this polarizing conditioning. And it's just, to me, it is absurd. And I know there's probably people listening or watching that are like, oh my God. And I will say this, if you're having a visceral reaction from what I'm saying, you might want to take a look at why you're having such a visceral reaction.
Well, one thing I would really like is just for 1 year only, or maybe every year, but just one. I mean, every 4 years we vote, but just one of the every 4 years, everyone should vote for themselves. That's my ultimate goal: is to get everyone to vote for themselves for president.
Nice. I like it.
And I'm against anyone who runs for president. I am completely against. I think the ideal president is someone who does not want to be president.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree.
Yeah.
And there's only one candidate that I still respect, that to me, even though his ideas are sometimes absurd, is one of the most stand-up politicians who is in more integrity, I think, than anyone in that arena, and that's Mr. Bernie Sanders. I'm still a big Bernie Sanders
I'm
fan, even though... What's that?
I'm not surprised that you're a fan of Bernie Sanders. He's not a bad guy. I just don't like any presidents, but he's very green and he's very very realistic about things. So.
But you might be surprised about, who I voted for in the past. Anyways, with that being said, not to get overly political, but I just think that there's a lot of intentional moves being made in the political scene that are just to distract us from what's really going on. And we don't need this show to turn into a conspiracy theorist show, but maybe we'll do an episode on that sometime. But it's too bad when I see people losing friends. Absurd that you're going to literally end friendships because you disagree on a couple things. And it's not only absurd, it's sad. And I will not allow that to happen, because I do have friends who are very, very much on the right, and I have friends who are very much on the left. And I always make sure I find common ground with both sides. So I hear it from both sides. I really do.
I get it.
What else is absurd, man? We've got a few more minutes to wrap up.
I'm whistling. I could never whistle my whole life. I can't do it anymore. I don't know if the mics picked that up, but I was just whistling. I used to beat myself up because I couldn't whistle. And I taught myself how to whistle, but I can only do it accidentally. I can only do it when I'm not trying to. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
What's up with clapping?
Clapping?
Like why
fingers.
Why do people to give accolades to a person, or this is what we do. We take our hands and
he's getting tomatoes thrown at you.
Yeah, I know, that's true. And I'm sure there's like some historical tie to something that explains why we clap, but I've always found that clapping,
the history of the clap,
is funny and somewhat absurd.
I think if you search the history of the clap, you're going to find out the history of a different kind of clap.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Wow, this has been fun, dude. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. This is the first time that you and I have done an episode, just the two of us, and I look forward to doing more with you, man. If that ever happens, and that's just for the audience too. This episode was Jeremy and I, and you might watch or listen to an episode where it's Dave and Shannon, or Shannon and me, or Jerry, whatever combination of the brain trust. And that's really exciting to me, because it opens up more opportunities for conversation. And I've always had Dave here. This is the first time where I haven't had Dave here, and it's really interesting. And I miss Dave. And I look forward to going back to some old school Love Your Brain. Dave and I were listening to one of the episodes, one of the more recent episodes with the fish stuff, and it's like, man, we found our groove. We found our groove, and now we have a new groove going on with all you guys. So what are you looking forward to coming up?
As far as the podcast, I enjoy this. I think this was a good podcast episode, and I've enjoyed being on here and getting to know other people and making friends and connections. As far as what I'm looking forward to coming up in my life, there's something I was looking forward to, but I don't remember it, so I probably wasn't looking that forward to it. I can't remember what I was looking forward to. I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
Yeah. Nothing matters, dude. It's all meaningless. And all that means is nothing. And what that means is you get to fucking do whatever you want with that concept.
Do what you want. It's all equal. There's no objectiveness. It's all right and wrong is just as a relative term. And I realize when I realize that nothing matters and I can do anything I want, that doesn't always mean not a bad thing. I mean, if you think about chaos, where anything can happen and all possibilities are able to happen, versus disorder, where disorder is like bad things will happen, like it's the antithesis of order. But chaos is just like people are afraid of chaos because they don't want anything to happen, because good stuff can come from anything too. But when nothing matters, you can really do anything you want, and you can have morality and choose to do something good, or you can have more bad, the opposite of morality, immoral, and do something that hurts someone. But really nothing matters, and you can make up your decision on what to do.
I think it sets us up for having a blank canvas to paint the picture that we want.
Well, it's disempowering, but it's also empowering. It disempowers us.
It kind of in a beautiful way contradicts itself.
Yeah.
And puts it in the hands of the beholder, I think.
Yeah.
But we're about to wrap up here, and something I brought up. I probably said this one-liner at least 3 or 4 times, maybe even more on some of the episodes, is that if you're a human being, you're a meaning-making machine.
Yeah, that's good.
Choose wisely.
I like that. Yeah, I realize I'm not for empowerment. Everyone in this society is all talking about empowering yourself. I'm all for disempowerment. I'll end it there.
Beautiful. And with that, thank you for joining us in this episode of Love Your Brain with the Brain Trust. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. And until next time. Oh, wrong setting.
That's better. Thanks for listening, and until next time, don't forget to love your brain.